It's not showing. Opening range low, which it did, pulls back and retests, and then breaks the low of day VWAP that I would get in, or that I would take it. And so that's what happened. And then it went about, I don't know, what's that? I think it went almost 25 points from there. So those are my 2 trades. Boom. Boom. That's it. It's me and Josh. I wasn't even looking at my screen. Are you Raj? You just switched places?
He's
I
muted.
can't hear you. Are you talking to me? Can't hear you. Please. Technical difficulties again. Should I keep talking to myself? Oh,
Hey, how's it
Raj.
going? There we go.
There we go.
There we go. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
We got you here.
You did.
You're on camera. You look like you're in space. You're like, it's just like all black.
I have a space room near the office.
Space room. That's funny. I always think, I'm like, should I get a green screen or something? But I'm like, whatever. It's just a window. And then a child's safety so my children don't fall out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would be bad.
It's a pretty good, handy thing to have.
Right?
Yeah, I say keep that.
Well, yeah, actually, the owners had it on here already, and my very anxious husband was quite happy about that. And actually, when I saw my daughter, because she's very mobile now, which I was not prepared for, literally, like, move a chair, climb on the chair, and then put her body outside of the window of my son's room, which goes out onto our patio. And she was hanging like halfway out, and I was like, yeah, these are good.
Yeah. Yeah, there are two types of kids. It sounds like you got the kid that definitely needed that one.
Oh my gosh, I have a very chill kid. Like, my son didn't do anything till he was about 18 months old. Like, he hardly moved. We were like, do we need to get him checked out? And then my daughter is like climbing up on our kitchen table every chance that she gets. I can't do anything at home if she's home. So that's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. Do you have
Right?
a cage on the cribs and the beds?
Maybe, like, we have her
a cage like over the top.
We don't because we have her in a pack and play. So we'll see if she starts crawling out of it.
Yeah, one day I'll just find her outside of it.
For sure. I'm totally expecting that. I was wanting to get a cage just to keep her in. Like, I mean, like in our living room, like a playpen. But our living room is
maybe
like
not near a window so the neighbors see.
Why is she in a dog cage? I don't know.
Right?
Oh my goodness. Oh, Richard. I had a nice DAX trade this morning. Always good to start the day with a win. Nice. Trading the DAX.
Richard, are you in one of our live accounts on that? Or is that on your own?
Richard's my trading buddy, like, since the beginning.
He's committed.
He's in Australia. He is like, I mean, there's a lot of committed traders out there. He's a very committed trader. He's in Australia, so he trades from midnight till 2 a.m. while having a young child and a family.
All right.
And a dog.
All right.
2 dogs, I think.
He found a window. He found a window. Does it work for him? Sounds like it.
I think so. Where did Raj go? Raj was like, bye.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
I'm here. I'm just taking care of some things in the background.
Oh, I'm just taking care of back. Close. Are you trading? Do you
FBI, open up! Me right now, no. I'm not doing it this morning, but I do trade occasionally when I can.
What do you trade?
I trade ES or occasionally the NQ, sometimes CL and GC. If one of those is in play, I'll hop on something.
Oh, okay. Hey, we have Vala here.
Hey.
Hello.
Fish aquarium guy.
Hello. Fish aquarium guy.
That's
How
how
you
you
been,
know on the
Josh?
internet.
Yeah,
Pretty good. How you doing?
not too bad. Just watching this open, trying to figure out a way to lose some money. You know, the normal.
Aren't we all?
You're pretty strict on
Aren't we
your
all?
Bollinger Bands, right? That's your setup.
Keltner channels, but yeah.
Keltner. Sorry, that wasn't a slur, right?
It was.
Wow.
I'm actually deeply offended.
My bad.
It's funny because I get that literally like every time somebody sees my setup for the first time. They're like, oh, what are your Bollinger Band setups? And I'm just like, deep breath, deep breath.
Just yell at them.
That's not me. That's another guy. That's Bollinger Bradley. It's a different YouTube channel.
Bollinger Bradley.
Say hi.
That was funny. Oh,
Sorry,
this
my
is the story
my
of
little one just woke up and he's asking me a million questions.
Oh my gosh, don't say sorry. I'm watching this open, just FYI, but this is the story of my life. I had to hire someone to be here because my kids do this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, no one prepared me for how much I would be gaslit as a parent. Just FYI for my 3.5-year-old. Just looking at news and then I'll share how I'm gaslit. Okay, so nothing really until 11. This is PST because I'm in. Oh wait, no, yes, no, yes. This is this is Pacific Standard Time because I'm in Pacific Standard Time. So at 11, 12, 1, 2, we have the FOMC meeting minutes. So Josh, typically, I say that like I have a bunch of experience. I don't, but people who do have years more experience than me say that the market does tend to just kind of chop sideways pre FOMC. But this is FOMC. I don't know. What do you?
I wouldn't.
What do
There's
you?
nothing. There's nothing there. A lot of people have a lot of superstitions around FOMC. Usually not.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it just chops around FOMC. There's plenty of movement and money to be made pre FOMC. It's totally respectable not to trade ahead of it. Obviously, through it is a rough thing to do, especially if FOMC is highly anticipated, which this year it increasingly has become.
Right.
So something to consider. For me, I'm more of a just technical only guy. Again, if something's major that's coming out, to me, it's a coincidentally Vola's here, but it's a volatility event for me. So I'm just considering like, what's the general direction of the market? How's the volume coming in? I start building a picture, a context, a narrative, and I would be looking at, it would depend on the position I'm in, but for the most part, I'll step aside temporarily unless I feel like the trend is strong.
Like pre FOMC, you'll step aside, or during?
No, I would stay in it. There's always setup, so if it's still decent enough market conditions, I would get in the trade. But and if the strategy presents itself,
What time frame do you trade on, Josh?
But I don't have an FOMC one. I guess I could just pull up my charts. Hang on a sec. I usually use volume charts, so I'll use something like 1,000 to 2,000 to look for actual entry on execution. But on the broader scope, I'm looking at like daily charts in the way of TPO charts.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So
I'll
like
use TPO charts,
stuff like that might not matter
gauge
as
my
much.
entry and find major points of interest. Yeah, but I'm not swing trading.
Right.
For the most part. So it is still kind of that daily candles, 30-minute broken up to find an intraday entry. You can only put so much emphasis on the daily unless a major event's happening, right? For myself, if I'm looking for a shorter time frame move. Hang on one sec.
We have a question for you in the chat. It says, Josh, how long have you been trading for? And have you had a moment you wanted to give up on trading?
Yeah, Yeah. About 5-6 years now I've been trading. My journey was a little fun because I started with, you know, being a know-it-all computer guy for 20 something years. So I came into it being, oh, it's data, it's on screens. I can do this. This will be super easy. And I think people like me, it kind of bites you in the ass pretty quick. Um, Engineer types have a struggle with getting overly technical and trying to solve it with math and physics and trying to find that perfect equation that just solves the market. And myself included, I just had to kind of burn out on it, where I'm trying every different avenue I can to try to come up with a perfect indicator combination that gives me the perfect entry. And then you finally sort of hit a bottom there. So giving up on trading, I never really thought about giving up, but I've definitely had lulls like anybody else. That's a lot of what TFD kind of was, TFD was built on a lot of the pain that we all have felt. I'm not some guru where I'm going to say I win every trade and I'm the best in the world. I'm just trying to build systems and see these processes to improve myself and everybody who trades with us. So, in the truest sense, TFD is sort of a representation of that. Like, here's the good things you should be doing. Here's things I know statistically improve edge, improve process, improve people. So yeah, I struggle just like anybody else.
You don't have 100% win rate?
I mean, yeah. So that said, I have a 100% win rate.
100% win rate, 50% of the
I
time.
usually have a 40-1 on my risk to reward.
That's the way to do it.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you were like cutting out.
Josh and Joshy. Hello.
Hello. Sorry,
Hello.
Vala, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, did you say that you were in a trade? You're like,
No.
I'm in, and then it...
Oh, I was gonna say I'm in a Discord channel there was one guy I met along my journey that was an engineer, and I was just gonna add on to Josh's conversation there about I'm in a Discord with probably like he has like 10 of his engineer friends that are in there, and they're all traders, and sometimes I'll be in that Discord just reading what they're saying, and it's way above my head, but I'll be like sitting, it's like they're trying to do exactly that. They're like, well, if we look at this from this and we take that from that and we put it all together, it should do exactly this. And I'm just like, that's no. like it's like I get what they're saying. Like I'll try to understand what they're saying, but in the end, the market doesn't care about any of that, right? We've all figured that out to some extent. So it's like, even though everything can line up perfectly, it doesn't actually mean anything. And I think that's the funny part about the market, is how humbling it can be. And that's all. I was just gonna add that little tidbit in there, that there are people out there that do exactly that, where they think they can figure it out, and it's just, I don't know.
Maybe along the way they find an edge and something that's there, and they accept it. But I have not found anybody, unless it's a small team of doctorate level computer scientists and researchers, that could put something together that just works permanently through all market conditions, and you just flip it on and it's all figured out. I mean, good luck, really, really good luck on that. I've got friends from large hedge funds and institutional stuff, and like it's not as easy as you think to quote unquote move the market where you want it to go. Something like the ES doesn't just float because one buyer is buying into the market aggressively.
Maybe
they'll
on
refer
like
to it collectively as the buyer, but
Right.
realistically it's,
Well, I was gonna say maybe for like 1 or 2 minutes you could move it temporarily, but like
you're gonna eventually move it. But it's like if you're moving CL and you're hedging a position for like a major institution, the most major in the world, and it starts moving because you're putting liquidity into it. Yeah, they know for that day or two, maybe the direction of the market that it's going to eventually head, but they can't just buy into it like that.
Right.
And you never know opposing players in the market. The second you go in to purchase major amounts of liquidity, that's not to say there's another player that has been waiting to sell that liquidity.
Right.
Most of liquidity is not sitting on the books. You can see a lot more in the markets that use those kinds of algorithms where you need to get in the queue early, like bonds markets and things like that. But when it comes to indexes, like equity indexes, they're not playing their whole hand on the table. It's like a fraction of it. They might put 100 contracts here, a couple hundred contracts here.
I think some people would be surprised at how many phone calls still exist in this game. Like when you get on a bigger scale, at least from
Yeah, they're trying to find the liquidity to make a transaction.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least from stories that I've heard from bigger players that I only know of one, to be honest, but he's told me some stories that he has no reason to lie to me, and it's not something he was like really publicizing. So it was just something that was just like, oh wow, that actually happens. Kind of something you'd see in
that's
like
that's
the
a big
old
reason people have Bloomberg. I don't even know if it. I don't know if to this day. I'm not that up on that, but
Right.
Bloomberg is like a chat system. It's like the chat system you got to have. Find other players. It's like a B2B. Find.
Right, because they can't just hit the market button.
No. Can't. Different game.
There was another.
We're just
there was-
along
I
for the
love it.
ride.
I love this conversation because I get to learn. There's another question from Donald. Said that Vola states that size does not matter. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I think that's a question for your wife.
On Vala's channel, he always states that size does not matter. Do you agree or disagree? I mean, it's a good question, and Josh is right. Should we bring the wife? I can go get her. We could just
do it.
ask her.
Sure,
My
let's make
naive
it very
mind
awkward
said,
for your poor wife.
I'm
I'll see if she
I'm
heard
so
me.
innocent. I'm like, he's just talking about positioning on the market.
Oh, positioning on the market. Oh, my bad. See, guys'
Am I wrong?
minds, right?
Usually my mind is like that. Try to be more professional, Josh.
Jeez, Josh.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a good thing we don't have an HR department.
Yet.
Do you not? Noted. Good to know. I'm
No, I
not
think-
niche now.
Hang on, let me get him.
AI
There
HR
it is.
department.
That's funny.
Yeah, yesterday I got involved in the open and I regretted it. It worked out, but I regretted the trade. Today I stayed away because of yesterday, and it would have worked out beautifully. It's frustrating.
Would you?
But,
would you
yeah.
have gotten in at 9:33?
Yeah,
Or
9:32.
at 9:32.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wait for that little extra push, but we didn't get that. But on this one, that was a really nice down move towards the low. Maybe I wouldn't have taken it, kind of in hindsight. I was looking at it, but we were so close to the current day low, which we just recently bounced off of there at 334. So I probably, being that close to the open, would have tried to wait for that anyway. But now, I mean, we're looking all the way down here. I would need to push down through 300. These are some big candles actually here this morning.
They are. In terms of the giveaway, I don't know what it is, so that's exciting. The giveaway link is in the comments, and then I saw a comment. The giveaway entries start at 25 likes. So you need
25, that's
likes.
nothing. Come on, guys.
That is nothing.
There we
I
go,
like it.
breaking the current low.
We're already past 25, so
Oh.
that's why the link is there.
Oh, I should pay more attention. For me, the 15-minute opening range has set, so that's now I'm like, hey, pay attention now. Not that I don't pay attention, but noted.
Yeah, so for anybody, oh, you do have my chart up. So I'm looking for the break of that current low, which we got, but I'm looking for a nice big extension away from it. And once we get that big extension away from it, I'd be looking for the retest of that break, but we need the big extension away from it first. And we don't want to see a retest first and then push lower. The quicker we can get away from it, the better, because then it's, to me, from what I found over the years, the higher the probability.
He needs some milk.
Okay.
So usually, I
I
don't
also
really.
want to see the push below.
Are you in this? Sure.
No, I'm not. I honestly did debate it at on MES at 6,419, but I don't trade the
Order filled.
Typically, I don't trade the first 15 minutes, so I didn't get into it. But I do want to see a push below and then a retrace as well. We want the same trade, but then I want the continuation of the short afterwards,
Right,
not
yeah.
the pullback.
That's
So
definitely
we want the
what.
same things.
Yeah, a lot of traders look for that move. I go on a little bit more on the riskier side.
I still don't know what Jets 2 Holiday Family of 4 means. I saw it again yesterday as a meme, as a reference, and I don't know what it is. I really need to like look this up so I'm cool. I'll ask my nanny. She's like 18. I always ask her, I'm like, what are the kids saying?
You're cooked.
My
All
9-year-old.
right, there's your push.
There it is.
What'd you say, Josh? You're what year old?
I was gonna say my 9-year-old. I have a big gap between like what the teenagers are saying because I've got all his brain rot stuff. That's what I have to deal with.
Brain rot. Yeah, that's another
Rot,
one.
it's a whole thing.
What is that?
Well, Rebecca, by you
What do you
asking
mean
me,
brain
you're
rot?
giving me brain rot.
I can try to make a nerdy definition, like it's a collective of.
Is it just what it seems like?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of different weird words that the kids use now, like
Yeah.
skippity toilet and all that stuff.
What?
There's so many words.
Oh no.
I just have to put myself in a. I was a kid one day and I had words too that my parents didn't understand.
I mean, I guess that's fair. Are you in this?
I am. Yeah, I
Lola?
am. I almost hit my take profit twice, and it shot right against me both times. I was debating on adding here,
Alright.
but I was giving it a little bit more room to breathe. I don't want to get too heavy too quick.
Okay.
I had a nice risk reward there for a second, but now it kind of ventured its way down closer to a 1 to 1, 1 to 2. Because I'm still looking for it to come
Okay.
back up and retest that 320 area. But unfortunately, both times it tried, it missed me by a couple, literally like just 3 points.
So where would your stop loss be here then, looking at your chart? It's
I always have a dollar stop loss, so it's such a high win rate play that I can give myself a little bit more room. So like just on this account, it's a bigger account, so I have it's set to it's a $3,000 stop loss, but I'm always looking for like $300-400
Is it-
wins, and since it's such a
is it
high
per
win
day or per trade?
per day. Yeah, that's a max. I try never to get that close to it, but it's there as a safety net.
Okay. So do you divide that up kind of mentally between trades, or do you have rules for, like 1,500 a trade, or I'll do 1,000 and a trade and I'll take 3 trades kind of thing?
No, it's always 3,000. The only time I ever run into an issue with it is if I run into where like I'm up like $700-800 on the day, then since it's hard coded into the platform at $3,000, if I really wanted to, if I got into a bad trade after I'm up like $800, it would technically be a max loss of $3,800 on that next trade. But I don't try to use it that way. I still, like, if I see I get to that 3,000 mark, I would still hope to take it off if I'm in a good mental space. But there
Okay.
is the opportunity there to give it that extra room, because I do have it hard set to 3,000 for the day. But I hope to never get to that point, obviously. I would say it's very rare that I'm ever down more than like 1,500 on a trade, because usually by then I can tell whether I should still be in the trade or not. Like right here, I'm gonna give it an opportunity to test the lows one more time and maybe fake out, because we still haven't really had a decent attempt at a pullback. And if we can't get that, like I'm down like 600 right here. So it's like I'm not gonna try to go too much further than that. Well, as I say that, but yeah, this is
I would have
actually
liked that as a short entry, actually, but I didn't have enough of a pullback
right. That's what
for
I'm
me to enter
saying. Yeah.
short. But it was a short entry for me because it broke below the new low of day VWAP there.
Jeez,
Yeah.
this thing is dying. I am actually
Order filled.
say I'm gonna get a little risque here. I thought I got a better entry than that, but here we are. So when I get into a trade like this, I'm typically looking for it to come back up and retest again where it tried. And then I'll be looking to just get out at this point. I'm more in risk management mode when a trade goes against me like this versus looking for big profit.
Yes, I totally.
Live
I
to
think
fight
that
another
that
day.
is. I think that that's a really good lesson, and I'm the same. Like if my first trade is red, I just try and like get back to break even and give up on the idea of having a profitable day. It's just a live to see another day kind of mindset, like you said.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily trying to give up on the entire day, but this trade specifically is obviously not working the way that I want. Yeah, this thing is going crazy.
Wow.
I'm actually gonna try to sneak a trade in on one of my other accounts while this is going.
Order filled.
This thing is a knife.
Kind of wish I took the short.
Yeah,
No,
that would have been.
That wasn't your process. I'm
Well, right. Yeah,
on the
hindsight.
process.
You're right.
Hindsight.
Yeah, I know it sucks, but you got to focus on that process.
Yes.
Really good.
I will.
That's your review for your trading today. Is that you followed your plan and things happened, but you followed your plan.
There you go.
Yeah, looking on
There we go.
the daily chart, this is a crazy move to the downside the last 2 days.
Yay. I'm just gonna mark off what my trade where I
Order
would have
filled.
gotten short. It was kind of according to my entry, but not fully. So that's why I didn't get in. But I'll just show it really, really quickly. There. So the break of the low of day VWAP, but we hardly saw a pullback here. Normally I like to see it come back at least to the New York VWAP or to the opening range low here, and it didn't. And then it broke it again and just fell down. So I'd like to see this pull back a little bit, and then I would look to get in short. So there we go.
I like that. So you're getting in too late. You're
Right.
risking what? You know, like where's your actual risk that has a good opportunity to defend you?
It's very
Exactly.
You made the right move here.
Thank you. All right.
Here is. We can switch back to Vola whenever we want to see some of the actual trade.
true. Yeah,
I did. Do you not see it?
not in the right way.
Wow.
Actually
Hey.
trying to make some more money on this. I know this thing is just straight down. Looking for the 200 break. Look, see if we can slide another decent trade in here on the other account.
15-minute candles are nasty looking.
Yeesh.
Order filled.
Somebody
Attempt on the ES
stopped out.
too.
That was
No
that
kidding.
was somebody stopping out right there.
That could have been a big stop run, but
Josh, call your buddies and move the market. Says trading for science. That's funny.
The question is, how far are we going?
doesn't have to stop. That's the
No.
one thing.
No.
I think at some point, the bands, the moving averages, they stop meaning anything.
Oh yeah,
People are
for sure.
panicking.
Yeah, for sure.
This is
I
when
have
the
to say-
engineers and the math guys are like, no, we're in 99% of the time, price doesn't stay here. and they'll stick to their math
Well, Nvidia
while
is
it
really
keeps
pulling
going
this
against them.
down.
Yeah.
I have to say,
I'll often have-
the thing that sends me into tilt is feeling like I missed my move, so I'm glad I'm on stream. So I don't do anything dumb.
Yep, you're good. It feels right now you're like there's a lot of price action there. I could be taking advantage of that. And it's like, no,
Yes.
you know what works for you.
Yes. The nice thing though is that, as of right now,
Order
the
filled.
trend is. So there goes my choppy before FOMC theory. But at least we can see as of right now what the trend is. If we look at the 15-minute candles, ooh, that looks gross.
Yeah,
Good for
that's what I'm saying. You look at the 5-minute, the 15-minute, any of them, it is disgusting. Looking at the
Wait a
daily, I
minute.
see the top. What is this? 102, like the 100 area. Yeah, like 100. That seems to be
Mm-hmm.
the next stop.
Let's get a pullback first and then get there. Was anyone in a long? Rip.
Yeah, me.
Rip. Yeah, yeah, Vala.
I'm actually
That was
gonna-
your setup though, right? Like you would take
It
that again
was,
and
yeah.
again and again,
Oh,
wouldn't you?
for sure, yeah. It's frustrating
Yeah,
when you get these trades because there's really nothing you
Stop
can do
filled.
except take the stop and just move on with your day.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's so many, it's like a bunch. This is the one disadvantage of my system is, you could set yourself back a week or two, but I know that in the long run, it works. It works itself out. Let me see. So I did
Mhm.
stop out there on that trade. I gave it one last little chance to bounce there, and it just did not. Actually,
Yeah.
I noticed it says I'm still. Oh, I only did one. I'm actually gonna give it one
Order
more shot
filled.
there,
Order filled.
and I'm gonna put a full stop. I didn't realize I had two there. All right, we got a full stop in underneath those lows. So either we get an attempt at a bounce here or not.
Right. I like how you follow your process.
But I did make so I know this isn't exactly like in real world, you're not going to have like multiple real accounts. But in the prop space, you do get the opportunity, like if a strategy like mine, if something continues to go against you like this, you're actually getting a better entry as it continues, right? So if I can swap over to, well, it depends on how you look at it, right? Because if your thought process, like my thought process is this is going to bounce at some point. So if I get in on one account and I continue and the price continues in that direction, in theory, the odds of it bouncing are higher. So I'm looking to catch that bounce. So if I swap to a second account, if it continues against me, in theory, I'm getting a better entry on that second account. You should never really trade that way. I'm just saying that's because you're not going to have multiple. Yeah, you're not going to have multiple.
I think if the conditions
accounts
are right and they're consistent, they're staying the same, and you're sort of just getting an overextension. But trying to find the difference there is difficult, and you'll never be right. But in a sell-off like this, for myself, I'm not going to assume that the market's going to go up. Yes, the bounce of profit taking, but I know what you're saying though. If market
like a
conditions
move.
are right, you're like, here's my entry. You're like, actually, that was an early entry. We're still going sideways a little bit, so finding something here on the end of your bands.
Right. It's a move within a move kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean.
Yeah, it looked like another fake to the upside. This thing is crazy. I think we're going to have to lick our chops today. I'm going to take the stop on this one.
Zipster said, Vala, your mental fortitude is commendable. Just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's days like today that, a lot of people don't show you. But, you gotta if you don't know how to trade on a day like today, and you don't know how to take, I say it all the time. I think every time I'm on with the futures desk, that's the thing that ends up coming up is like the best loser wins. You know, it's learning how to lose, because if you don't know how to lose and protect your capital in the end, like that's really what it comes down to.
I think for your style of
Definitely.
trading, especially Vola, today was your day to try to manage that.
Yeah.
Downside, it sounds like you did too.
Well,
You
yeah,
knew
I
what you were
mean,
doing. You went in with a plan. You're like, this is what happens. Occasionally, I have a day that just trends really hard against me.
yep.
But
And it still
you
might
manage
work.
your position, and
Yep, that's all you can do.
yeah.
I have a hard, you know, and that's the thing. You have to have a hard stop. Mine, you, I know I just said it's 3,000, but on a move like this, it's almost like I feel the odds are much higher for the bigger pullback. So it's almost like if you knew if you were playing the lottery, and you knew you had a 0.5% chance of winning, how much money would you put into that to risk for the jackpot, right? But if you went into that same lottery, same jackpot number, but they were like, hey, you actually have a 30% chance of winning, would you spend a little bit more money to put it? So it's kind of
Sure.
that
Poker.
theory. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's actually poker theory, where I'm gonna put more money in the middle, knowing that I have a higher chance of winning on certain plays. So it's like, yeah, like if you want to go to poker, like I would put more in the middle pre-flop with pocket aces than I would with 7 deuce. It's just how it is. Like to me,
Do it. Yeah.
this is more of a pocket kings, pocket ace type move, where the odds are we're going to get some sort of decent pullback. Where with 7 deuce, you know, where it's just grinding and it's like not towards the bands, you know, just it's a really bad move. You know, I'm not going to put as much money towards it. Like I would respect my loss, but that was such a violent move. To me, I think we're going to get some sort of a pullback, and if we don't, then we don't, right? Like pocket aces don't always win. But yeah, having that mentality, you just it's something that you definitely learn over the years. It's definitely not something you can just be told and then just put it into practice. You have to see it, you have to live it, you have to feel it. Because until it's your
There's
money on
definitely,
the line, yeah, I was just gonna say, until it's your money on the line and you get your heartbeat racing while you're actually in the trade and managing it, like you're not gonna understand when people say emotions are like the biggest part of trading. You're just not gonna understand it until it actually happens.
Yeah, it's like playing poker for not real money on your phone, and people are like, "Look, I made $20 million." I'm like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that's
That's
what happens
why
when you put money on the line.
And that's why I have the kind of hot take opinion that not practice accounts, but I guess practice accounts, not talking about futures desk practice accounts, just talking about paper trading, complete demos. I just feel like they don't prepare you that well for trading the market. But I could talk about that for forever. There's a question there for you, Josh. How long did it take you to become profitable?
You know, everyone still goes through lulls. Consistency and stuff isn't like you're always going to be profitable forever. I'm not trading so much lately, just because you can imagine, business-wise,
He's a little
I
busy.
try to, yeah, I'm a little busy. So, it takes years. I have yet to see anybody that holds profitability. It's a one in a very large amount of people that get profitable within a year. That's very, very rare. 2 years, you might start seeing some people like holding profitability, but it takes 3, 4, 5 years, unless you go through a really structured, you know, if you went institution first and you're on a desk, and like that's a different scenario. But people on their own, trading, watching videos, doing what they can, finding the right guidance. You're not working with a team, you're not working with a risk manager, you're not working with a coach, you're not working with all those things from scratch. So it takes years for anybody. It's just how it works. There's just too much. It's sort of like someone could learn the basic guitars chords on a guitar and get by. But if you're talking about, like, if you wanted to play a solo in front of a stadium crowd and feel really confident about it, about a song you just learned the day before. What's the gap in the amount of practice you're going to need? It sort of works that way with the market. It's not necessarily just screen time. It's like calculated practice for a very long period of time. So me or anybody else, you know, it's always several years, and I'm always it's like a practice. It's like a doctor's practice. You got to just keep going. You have to keep
Yes.
understanding the market. You got to keep learning. Things are changing. The market. Look at the ATR of the market now compared to, you know, a year ago. The daily volatility is getting bigger. New patterns emerge. It's exciting. That's what's fun for traders. But me, like, I'm not magical like anybody. Nobody else is magical either with this stuff.
Hmm.
The people that
They might
appear
claim to
magical
be.
at the hedge funds and stuff.
Stop
they
field.
got- They can move. They can. They're making different decisions with a lot more access to capital. Where Vala here is going to hit an end. He's dipping into that territory though, where he can always keep adding to a trade or keep waiting for a bounce, take bigger position size. There's obviously a game to be played there, and a lot of the larger capital firms can do that too. They'll never empty their pockets, but for the most part, we're all dealing with the statistic. We're all dealing with loss streaks.
I'll say I did stop out of that trade just for anybody who was following along. That's another thing too. You can kind of tell, like in that sideways action for the last 10 minutes before the big drop, that it was never freely moving. I talk about this kind of daily too. Like it was never freely moving to the upside. Like if you want to claim to be a price action trader, you know, when it comes down to the nitty gritty of it, when you're looking at actual price action as it's going sideways, is it moving up easy or is it moving down easy? Like you can kind of tell within a candle. It was really struggling to move up, you know, 5-10 points, but when it would go back down, it would just shoot down to, you know, 10-15 points. And that's how you can usually tell who's like currently in control of the price action. So it's like, even though we were getting green candles, you could tell that the buyers weren't actually in control of that price action. And then right out, and so it was like and that's the thing too, it's like you hear it all the time, Mark Douglas, you know, all over the place. Like once you place your trade, you're no longer in control of anything that you can do with that trade. You're just kind of like, you put yourself in a position where you're essentially hoping that your edge comes into fruition. And when you're in a trade and you can still kind of see like that's how you manage your position. Like that's why you start to learn how to read price action. Like, okay, well, I got in, it's not working out that well, but at the same time, like I can start to tell whether I feel like this is actually going to work or not. And so even though that was kind of starting to move up and I was hoping that it was going to continue to move up, I could kind of tell that, you know, I had to put a stop in there because the longs, the bulls, I should say, just clearly weren't still in control. And until they are, you know, at this point, you know, this thing could just keep going. And it kind of looks like we are. I mean, how many points have we went down since the open? Or 300. So we're down 300 points from the open already. And we've seen 1,000-point moves. So it's possible.
Right. I really liked the short. I'll show it. I didn't take it. I hesitated. Here. The reason why I hesitated is because it's a really large stop. It's almost a 30-point stop for me to actually like comfortably sit in this trade. So I just didn't really want to take a trade with a 30-point stop, to be honest.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. But I like the trade.
I'm actually
I like the
so
short from there.
And here's another thing that I found as a trader, especially with this kind of a system. Well, maybe not necessarily this kind of a system though, but once you take a loss, let alone a bigger loss, you have to erase that loss from your head immediately. So like right now, I'm looking for a new trade, but I'm not looking for a new trade to make back my losses. I'm looking for a new trade because it's my setup again, right? So like if we can push down through 100 and we can get closer to the Keltner channels, like that is my trade. So just because it didn't work once, doesn't mean I should, steer away from it, because what got me in the position I was to where I can take a loss like that was taking this exact trade over and over again. So that's what a lot of people, they get into a different frame of mind after they take a loss, especially a bigger loss, because they become like, oh, I got to get even on the day, or, I got to, just get back in. Like, a lot of people will still be looking at the macro move here, where I completely just don't look at macro moves anymore, because like I said, we're 300 points down. This thing could go 1,000. So the quicker that you can get that out of your head, like that it doesn't have to, like Josh said earlier, it doesn't have to come back. It doesn't have to pull back. And we've all, well, if you've been trading long enough, we've all been in a situation where that's true. Will it? Maybe, probably, but it doesn't have to, right? And that's how, if you want to go into the stock world, that's how a lot of hedge funds, lost out on, what's the stock? GME. If you guys remember that,
Right.
GameStop, because they
yeah.
did it. They did it for years, right? They see a stock go crazy like that, they short it, and it eventually comes down. They make a lot of money. Well, that time they just kept adding to it, and it just never came down. Not until after it did all of its damage. So, the futures market definitely can do that.
Yeah.
Is that Raj in the background? Or
Man,
is
that was
Rebecca?
crazy. What?
I thought I heard a.
a.
Oh, that was you. Okay, yeah. I wasn't looking at my screen
Yeah,
when you made
thinking
that.
about GME. Thinking about GME.
Yeah, GME. That thing was crazy. That was definitely a
Yeah,
crazy
that was a
one.
fun one because it was a technical, some
At the beginning.
kind of summarize it for people. Yeah, at the beginning. I don't follow it that closely, but all this naked shorting, which was companies that were shorting it when they didn't really have shares to short. So it all added up to them shorting over 100% of GameStop. And that guy picked up on it, and he's looking. He's like, technicals on this company aren't that bad. This looks like a decent company to invest in. They've got good margins, et cetera, et cetera. But then he also noticed, there's more shares shorted than there are available. So if we just buy this thing, those people are going to get squeezed to hell. Hence, what happened right after that. Those two kind of orbiting storms overlapped.
Yep. That was what created the initial squeeze, and then it just became a straight up like phenomenon with people like realizing that what the hedge funds were doing, like how they were holding it down, all these different stocks. So it became like a cult almost, to where everyone just kept buying and buying, and they were just buying it out of spite. It wasn't even for technicals at a certain point. It was, and it worked. It temporarily worked. It was pretty crazy how many hedge funds. I mean, there was a lot of hedge funds that went under. Yeah.
I had a friend who was invested in that and was up put in I don't know, 5,000, and was up like 150, 200,000, and was like, I'm gonna hold. I'm like, what?
Bottle. Yep. That's the thing. That it became such like there was a movie, they made a movie about it, where there were people that were up, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it would have changed their life. Like, these are people that were living paycheck to paycheck, but they were taking their paycheck and just buying it, and they kept buying it, and they asked them, they were like, are you gonna sell? Like, that would change your life. And they were like, yeah, I could probably buy a house and get out of the neighborhood I'm in, and they were all kind of different stories. And they all just said, no, I'm going to hold it. And they all held it, and they ended up giving all the money back. And not everyone did, obviously, but it's like, it became such a FU to the hedge funds and all the people that were in control. Like, they brainwashed them to say no, just hold it. Like, we're going to drive this thing, to $1,000, etc. And people believed it. And because it was a lot of people that don't know anything about the market too, right? Like, they see it on social media. They're like, buy this, we're going to make you rich. And people buy into that stuff. And that's what they always say, with any specific single stock. Like, when you hear your grandfather or your uncle or somebody talking about it in the real world that knows nothing about the market, that's when it's time to sell, right? Because it's made its way to people that know nothing about the market, and now they're hearing about it. It's like, okay, well, if they're going to start buying it, that's when the easy money comes in for the hedge funds.
I'm just looking at it right now, and it reached 81.25, it looks like, at its max, at its all-time high, and now it's at 22.50.
I thought it went higher than that. Did they do a
I
split?
thought it went higher than that too.
I wonder if they did a split
They
at some
might have.
point.
Because I thought it went up to, yeah.
I thought it
also
was.
went
I
up
thought it
higher
was
than
in the
that.
hundreds.
Like
I don't know for
100.
sure. Yeah.
Oh, Josh said we need Vala full time on Futures Desk.
John. Oh, that's Zishan saying to Josh.
Hurts my. Yes, Josh, comma.
Yeah, Jason said it
Yeah,
went
no
up to
way
like
higher, like
$300.
$300.
Yeah.
They
We're
must have
gonna
done a
keep having
split then.
Bala on every day until he doesn't realize that he's just on every day. It's gonna be a sneak attack.
That's
They're-
funny.
They're what's that word? It's the word where you not shape. Dang it. It's a word that's been going around lately. It's like where I don't want to bring up why it's being used because it's not a good thing, but you're forming. It's another word for forming. You're
Shaping?
yeah, shape. I
Shaping,
mean,
that's a good one.
it is shape.
This is
It's
a party game.
no.
Taboo.
So online games, a lot of kids play. And there's a big thing right now with Roblox. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Oh, yes.
A lot of
Or-
different things. I hear
Roblox.
Roblox in the other room right now.
Yeah. Well, apparently, I've turned the chat off on my kids' Roblox for this exact reason.
yeah.
But you have people who shouldn't be talking to kids, and they are
Oh, grooming. Talk about
grooming.
grooming?
Yes, thank you. I knew there was a
right,
word that has
grooming.
been yeah.
There is a certain. My wife sent me some article on this, of course.
Yeah.
That has. There is a specific group, and they're trying to get them to like do demented things.
Yes.
They like
yeah.
convert the kids to do something demented, and they're all taking part in it.
Yep. They're grooming them.
Oh, that's
That that's the word I was going. I didn't want to bring that up, but yes, that's you guys are grooming me. That's the word I was looking for.
It's like morning talk shows.
I
where
didn't
you're
want
not
to bring
supposed
this
talk
up,
about
but you're
things.
grooming me.
Yeah, I realize it. I'm self-aware.
Just it's 10-16 guys. This is when we do our warning on don't let your
Grooming?
kids talk on Roblox and watch out for groomers. That's our
Gosh,
general
I don't
warning.
want to talk about that. It scares me so much with
Very
3.5
scary.
like young kids.
It's
Smart
definitely
forget.
yeah, it's definitely something where good parents like you're usually fine because you're paying attention to that stuff anyway. It's but you know but parents that just like here take the tablet and they don't have any like restrictions on it and they're the ones that I feel sorry for, and they're also the ones that are cussing out our kids at 9 years old.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
I saw this mom post about by the way, I'm still flat. Just FYI. I saw this mom post about her 10-year-old daughter and this bully. These messages that she sent her 10-year-old daughter on this because they have to have an iPad for school. And so otherwise she's like, my daughter wouldn't have an iPad, but she needs one for school. And it was like her daughter stood up for another girl that this girl was bullying. So then she turned her efforts onto her daughter at 10. And I couldn't believe the things that were coming out of this 10-year-old's mouth. I was like you said, cussing out another 10-year-old. I was like, oh my gosh. Like at 10 years old, I was running around and being told like, come home when it gets dark out, like I wasn't I didn't even know what the F word was, and I just
Right.
I couldn't believe. And then like the F word was like the least offensive thing that she said in this conversation. And I was like, I just don't want my children to get older. I want them to stay 3 forever. And just mama play with me. That's all.
This is actually just a practice account for me. I'm just gonna let everyone know that. But this is starting to look like a good little stop run here. I have an area of balance already kind of built out here. So the fact that we're rejecting it on the extreme here on my VWAP deviation is interesting for me. This down
So
here is
for a
cumulative
long
delta.
position?
It's a scalp. So I'm not looking for a reversal in that sense, but I think
Okay.
there could be enough buying pressure here now built up. Where profit taking, that kind of stuff can find a long target back
Okay.
to this area of balance. I'm always looking for areas of balance, and then imbalance moves in between, or traversals across those areas of balance.
Okay.
So I'm not going to think that this is the start of a reversal that's going to, make a high on the day. I'm going to trail it as it gets closer to my -1 deviation correlating here with this area of balance. So really, this is my target.
Order filled.
And again, this
Okay.
is a practice.
Order filled.
I don't have stress on the line right now, just so you know.
So that it's so interesting because that your target lines up with the New York daily VWAP. I think if I'm reading your chart correctly, yeah, around
So
there. I'm not
yeah,
gonna say it lines up perfectly, but for me, it's
this
wait,
is the
hold
New
on. Is
York.
the
This
green?
isn't the New York, but the yellow. That's a
Green is.
dynamic VWAP created from this pivot. So this is if you think
Okay,
like
so
a
it's a bit
zigzag
higher.
indicator. Yeah. So when it made this big run up, it anchored VWAP from that point.
Okay, so the VWAP's actually a little bit higher up. Okay. Because I'd love for it
Yeah,
to come up test the VWAP.
this is the overnight
Okay.
session. This is ETH
Mhm.
VWAP, and then this is from the last monumental, if you can think of that, price action move. It's anchored to that
Mhm.
point. But I'm not looking
Yeah.
for a full, because we have such an aggressive sell-off today, and because we're channeling
Yeah.
well below value, this blue area, this darker blue area, is value based on
Mhm.
VWAP. I'm not gonna push it for a long. The narrative on the day, we've been, we had a ranging period of time. We sold off really hard. For me to think that I've caught the bottom, yeah, I might have. Maybe we'll look back. Maybe you guys will look tomorrow and be like, oh look, Josh should have just held that for 3
Josh
days.
is a genius.
Mhm.
That's why he's the CEO.
I'm actually
Are you?
I'm cutting that
Is that your
off. What I'm
title?
gonna do, I'm gonna sell 3 right when I see a little bit of weakness, and then I'm gonna trail the rest. But this is the cumulative delta I really like because it's sort of an abstraction on the tape, and the tape is something I started with. I've gotten through footprints. Sometimes I kind of pull them on again just to look at them, but for the most part, I've found this is a pretty good way of determining speed of tape because I'm using volume candles, and then
Mhm.
overall like macro order flow contextual. So Vala was sort of speaking to, there is a sense. So when you're looking at the price action, you're seeing like, hey, it goes up 2 ticks every time, and then it tries to go down 1 tick, goes up 2 ticks, goes down 1 tick, and you can get a sense of that rhythm of where the market's going, who's in control, the buyers, the sellers. This cumulative delta kind of gives me that same information.
Okay.
So I just took off half
Interesting.
the risk there. Now I'm gonna watch this firm move higher. My next target, I like how there's confluence. I'm noticing these are highs, so these are structural highs where a stop run did happen. So the probabilities for me right now of it going to here have lower probability because it's going to have to move against the sellers that were here. I'm going to assume sellers are going to come in this area. They might not. I'm still going to react and watch what happens. But I tend to be a little bit more conservative. So if I was looking to sell, I'm going to be looking to sell before it has to try to push against these sellers.
Okay. Interesting.
And then I'll basically just trail it. Now that I've gotten this move off, again, I'm not expecting a long to continue and give me this huge give back day. That's
Right.
even more exceptional than a trend day.
That's true.
Right.
But when you add the two together, I'm just not looking for longs in that way. So
Okay.
for here, let's see what happens. I'm just gonna watch it now. Now we have strong buying. Like we haven't seen that the entire time. Saw these small pullbacks on buying. I'm not overly committed to. A lot of people look for absorption and they're like, oh look, it's selling and price is moving down. That's sort of the last thing I'm paying attention to. It's interesting when you start seeing some divergence in order flow, in price. That's not what's happening here, but I'm just saying in general. It's interesting to see divergence in price. It's something worth noting, but I'm definitely going to be looking at, okay, no, this is, the buyers are really trying here, right? This is a push from the buyers. It's continuing to push. Price is moving with it. That confluence is more important to me than it's seen any diversion in delta. It's more of a signal for me to get in when there's confluence. But I'm not going to trail this far because, again, contextually, yes, this was a good opportunity for a scalp I saw, but if we look at the narrative on the day, guys, we've been selling hard. We're starting to see something here. Yes, that's interesting, but generally speaking, we're still downtrending. Price action still downtrending.
Yes. I really love hearing your thought process behind, like, I love hearing the trade thought process behind someone who trades completely different than I do.
Right.
It's really neat.
A lot of
Really,
different
really neat
ways.
to talk
We're all
to
looking at the same thing, though. That's the
our-
fun part. We're all still just looking at either volume and or price.
Exactly. Trading for sciences, what time frame do you trade on, Josh?
So on the right here, these are TPO. So each vertical you see generally ends up being a day. What I do is I find what I'm really looking for is areas of balance / value. So we had this multi-run day here. Let me just unmerge all these. But I'll look for, these are the most important to me. So price came, this is day by day, just so you know. So this was the 12th. This was Tuesday last week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're generally going sideways, right? That, at least that's how I view it. So I'll take these days, and the blue areas are the area where price stayed most of the time in terms of time. So by merging these days together, I'm a little more lenient on how I merge, but what I'm generally looking for is sort of a distribution of value. So this just gives me a general sense of, if you're looking at candlesticks, you'd see a lot of overlapping candlesticks in those areas. And at some point they start to taper off. These are essentially just representative of this is what this is. So we had all this price action. It generally came back to this middle area of value. Most time was spent like that. So now that becomes an area to defend, and it's an area to break out of, retest, move to another area of balance. So I'll have another area of balance from a previous day. And what I'm looking for is if it can't hold this area of value, then if it breaks and starts pushing, where's my likely target? I start looking for the next area of balance. And the example I like to use is usually when a video game console's out, let's say it's $300 normally. $300, but if you look on eBay, it'll be like $290 to $310 for whatever reason. If a new version of that game console comes out, that version might show up as $220, right? It might go down to a certain price point that people have under those market conditions. When the new version's been announced, it's coming soon within 6 months. The old version tends to go down to about $220 because people are anticipating a new version coming out. The value on the old version isn't as high, and you'll see those patterns in all types of markets. So if it's at 300 and that new starts coming out, you'll start seeing the prices on eBay going to 290, 280. People are trying to get what they can out of it. And eventually the market just starts flooding. People are like, I better sell mine now because these things go down to 220. And that's how I think about the markets. I think of it as areas as this was at some period of time where Xboxes were selling for $300. Now the market conditions have changed. We're breaking down out of there. So what's the previous area of value? 220. Now I'm noticing price action. I'm watching the selling pressure. I'm watching all the different things that I'm looking for to determine, do we have enough, sellers or lack of buying where we're going to start absorbing into this price range again, that 290 to 310 price range. If you imagine my Xbox analogy, that was wonderful. If we get back into that range, then we'll probably stay in that range, right? We're gonna have a higher likelihood of people are comfortable buying and selling Xboxes at the 290 to 310 range, and we'll see what happens next. It's all still reactive. I'm still looking at what's happening right now. These levels give me reference, but what's happening in the auction is still the most important. So we're dipping in here. We're if I'm looking at just value, you can see just based on the angle of the VWAP, the angle of the deviations, we're building value lower and lower and lower and lower. The angle's lower. So that means in general, on average, price is starting to accept into this area of prior balance or prior value. So while a lot of people might look like at this is a long, they're like, look, it's a lower high. This is really good opportunity. I've got a really good point of risk. For me, I don't see that because selling downtrend, we've broken into this area of balance somewhat. We're not fully accepting yet, but it's starting to look that way. People are transacting here. It's holding here. Like all those things that I'm looking at makes me more interested. I don't have a trade here, but I'd be more interested in a move to 63, 60, 50 here on the yen. It's just a continuation of what's happening. We're in this down channel, pressing really hard. Relative volume obviously is through the roof.
Man.
So when people say, you know, by the way, you mentioned it this morning, pre-FOMC,